my name's Athena and I'm from GIG GOER, and today I'm here with Valley.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
So we're going to be chatting through a couple of things, starting off with your coming EP, Last Birthday. So what do you think has been the biggest lesson you've learned from your past releases that you took with you for Last Birthday?
Good question.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. I think we've been doing a lot less. There's been a lot more like creative overthinking, which I think is healthy, but there's been less like overall like career overthinking and like I feel like Last Birthday is very much like us just putting pen to paper and like not being too caught up in like, oh, but Sucks to See You Doing Better did this and people didn't like this, but people liked this. This did really well. Like we're aware of our past, but Last Birthday is very much its own kind of breath that's also kind of connected to Sucks in a way, because we're technically putting out an album just in two separate time periods, but they very much like support each other. I was saying in an interview earlier today, like Sucks was kind of this like person that's like heartbroken and kind of frustrated and kind of pissed off at the world a little bit, like the situations that they happen to be put in, relationship wise and family and whatever. And Last Birthday is kind of like the friend coming in and being like, it's not that bad, like let me pull you out of this. It's kind of like the friend or someone being like, yeah, like society might suck and like you might want to go back in time and you might want to, you know, do whatever. Like it's kind of like this like almost like lifeboat or something to come in and be like, hey, like bring you over here. Let's try to bring you over here to a happier place. So they're kind of like sister EPs in that way. And then Last Birthday,
like the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of at the end of this like 2-year mess that we've been living in socially and economically, everything. But yeah, and then Last Birthday, the title is really special because it's actually a song that is yet to come out. It's not on the EP technically in October, but it is coming out, and it's a very special song to us. It's like, we keep saying it's like the quintessential Valley song. It's like the parts of everything we love and we've done in the past in like one song. And it's like not trying to be anything. It's a very much a song about like, you know, unconditional love for somebody or something, and kind of being by their side no matter what, you know, even if, you know, even if you grow apart, you'll kind of die for your friendship or together. So that's kind of the meaning of Last Birthday. It's always been like a title we've wanted to use as a body of work, and it just happened to work out that we wrote a song called Last Birthday with Ash, who's amazing. But yeah, that's kind of.
But it's not on the EP. So what was the decision and the thinking behind that?
Well, I guess you'll have to see. It's us being we're playing the waiting game. We want people to.
Okay.
You know, I like that the title is out before the song. I think there's something special, and I think there's this like natural build up to the song that we like. Not that, you know, we hope it doesn't disappoint. It's just our favorite song, so we wanted it to have its own real moment. And I think
opposed to just being a single or like an EP song or whatever.
And it's coming out it's kind of coming out in there's a next chapter to Last Birthday, and
we're not allowed to say too much.
But it's going to be really special, and it's surrounded by two other things that are really also personal and like special to us. So it's going to have its own real moment, and I think people.
It's so exciting and hush hush at the moment, though. Yeah. Well, I mean, with the EP at least, you wrote that over quarantine, and I think you noted towards the last 2 years being a bit of a tricky time. So what sort of challenges did writing over quarantine present to you?
I think like in short, we didn't really have a lot of the prompts that we were used to having when we were writing a song. For example, like you're at a party while you're traveling and you see a situation happen or a type of person or whatever, like you're out and about and you see, wow, that was very Canadian of me.
You're out and about.
But you're experiencing more, you're with more people in proximity. And I think with that being said, like in the past, that was where we were pulling a lot of our songwriting, like lyrics and stuff like that, concepts from, like songs like Bailey, Light in the House, I don't know, like
Sucks to see you doing better.
Like several songs were based off of like real life experiences, like situational, very situational. So when quarantine hit and we were locked away in our houses, especially Toronto, we're in LA now, but we were in Toronto for the majority of the pandemic, and we actually had the longest consecutive days of quarantine globally, like out of any country. So, I mean, everyone had it bad, but just a fun fact, I guess, there. But anyways, like we had to start thinking more introspectively, I think, and pulling inspiration from things that weren't like physically right in front of us. And like, I think that was tough because like we actually had to sit with our thoughts and be like, guess we gotta like, dig a little deeper now and stuff like that. And it was very challenging for me personally. Like I can't speak for everybody, but it was challenging for me. Just about reframing and like adjusting your creative process and allowing yourself to sort of learn a new creative process and learn how to write songs a little bit differently without those like tangible prompts.
And there's a lot of silver linings because
it forced us
some of our favorite songs came out of the pandemic. You know what I mean? But
it forced us to be like more nostalgic in like more ways than one. Like for instance, like 1999, like that whole concept is just about going back to the past. Like that is such a product of sitting there being like, well, nothing is going on in my life. What about you? Nothing? Okay, let's write a song about wanting to go back to a different time. Like that's a product of not having the creative well filled. And like there's a song called Ain't My Girl, which is 7 years old, and I truly believe that is a product of like us, going back to the Dropbox from years ago, being like, okay, like we don't have like I don't have any ideas, but we should find this song. And like full honesty, like that song was never gonna see the light of day, and then like we took some weed gummies and like
went through Dropbox.
We're sitting on the couch like high one night and we're like, guys, this song is so special, like we have to cut this song, and then like it happened. So like there's like a lot of like happy little moments I think about the past 2 years.
I actually can't believe that song is
it's happening. Like 7.5 years old.
It was one of the first songs we like wrote when we met.
So you just like never know. You just never know. So like I'm actually grateful that some of that kind of stuff happens. I don't think it would have happened if we were not in a locked away and like dry as creativity. So I was going to say. But it was tough. It was very tough. It was weird not to have like ideas just on the go, like because real life it's so easy, like Kara was saying. So.
Yeah, I really can't imagine in a kind of normal time sitting there trolling through Dropbox and being like, oh my gosh, this is a little nugget of gold from the past.
No one wants to hear songs about a pandemic. Like, I know there were some artists that were trying to like ride that wave, and like I think the closest we got was Homebody, even though that was written before the pandemic. Yeah, that was written in 2019. So it's like, no one wanted to really go there. Like some people were going there, and I was like, that might work for you, but like we just didn't want to do that. So it was pretty difficult, but again, came out okay. It was okay.
I think okay might be an understatement. I'll say that is a more accurate description. Yeah. But besides from trying to change where you source your inspiration from, was there anything else that had to change about your creative process?
Yeah, I mean, even on a logistical level, we couldn't see each other. So there's a lot of silver linings. Like we kind of had to work on our craft by ourselves. Like we're so used to working all together. So we had to work on our craft by ourselves. But then we also were like, you know what, we can't just pause our entire career and our emotional and creative outlet for an undetermined amount of time. So there multiple times we got like a cabin, in Northern Ontario for a month and just like got together and just like literally worked every single day, which we didn't always have you know, the ability to do, just because, you know, life is life. Everyone's got things going on, and it's also not healthy to work every single day for 365 days. But we were like, we have a month at this Airbnb, at this, like, you know, cabin. Like, let's just basically work every single day, have fun at night, go on walks in the morning, and just like write songs every single day. And so many silver linings came out of that. And then on top of that, I think we had to find new ways to like keep fans engaged, because we have a lot of benefits of when we go on tour. Like, we get to meet fans face to face. We get to be in front of a crowd of people every night. So that was a big part of it. But we had to figure out how to like leverage what we could, because we couldn't go on tour. So like we had to figure out how to get better at social media, how to like come up with little creative ways to like keep fans engaged. And then thirdly, like doing music videos and artwork and acoustic videos, and like all those things were logistical nightmares, because we got tested and quarantined like every single time we would do a music video. So like we got tested so many times, because there would be like multiple days or like weeks apart because of availability. And like it was just so crazy looking back, like how many times we got tested. So
we're pretty prepared for anything now.
Yeah.
Like it didn't prepare us as a band to just like, when all shit hits the fan, you just gotta like find a way to do a video, find a way to record a song, find a way to
we set up a
Zoom was a lifesaver. Like there's so many things that kind of just helped us, but yeah, we got her done.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that though. And with this new chapter, I think one of the things you mentioned is that you kind of stopped overthinking everything so much. Was there anything that was particularly nerve-wracking about kind of this new chapter?
There was a lot, I think. Like, I mean, you never know how people are going to like receive your music, and I guess that's not really specific to this era, I think, but maybe in a way, because we weren't expecting like 1999 to do anything. I don't even know if it, like, we just put it out that week, you know what I mean? When we put it out the same week we wrote it, and there was no expectations, and it exceeded our expectations. And so I think maybe there was a bit of not worry, but just like, I guess, apprehension toward how are we gonna, you know, one up this song. Like, I hope we can deliver and stuff. And like behind the scenes, like we're making the art that we feel like we want to make, and like that's kind of all you can do. But I think just in general, I think the more bodies of work, the more songs like an artist puts out, it just becomes more and more of this like cumulative feeling of like, okay, I need to like top that and top that and top that, and it becomes this very much like hedonic sort of like treadmill mentality where it's hard to get away from, because I think that's sort of the drive that a lot of artists need in order to like keep pushing themselves.
Yeah, it's a healthy balance.
Their craft, but exactly, there is a healthy balance. But yeah, I think that's kind of scary. I mean, it's like always scary. You know, you want your art and your music to be well received, and like when it's not, there's obviously a moment of like reflection. Like, did we do something wrong? Did we not? But I think at the end of the day, it's like you have to be okay with the fact that if you're putting stuff out into the world on the internet, like not everyone's gonna like it, and that's totally fine. I don't like every single song that ever exists, so like how can I expect someone else to do that? And I think you just have to keep reminding yourself of that.
That's the goal for sure. I was definitely like near the beginning of like this new cycle, I was definitely a little fearful at first, because like tempo was like a big departure for us that I felt, but like it was taken in with such open arms. And like I think we've also realized that the people that have been with us since day one like have grown as well. So like they've grown with us. Like, you know, they still love Maybe, but like, you know, they were growing and changing their taste just like we were. Like at the same time, we're the same generation. So like that comforts me that like they also are changing their, you know, taste, and they're exploring new genres and whatever they're doing. So that was really exciting. I think there was a quick moment of like, man, like we're really putting out songs that are getting more and more zoomed in on like one subject and really about the vocal and like about the story, and it like kind of getting all the other stuff that in the past we've put in the way. And like that was a little fearful, but we realized like that's what kind of like people connect to the most. It's like it's really about kind of like the more they can relate to a song, the more they're gonna tell us it's their favorite. Like, and that's like all we can ask for. So like with the new stuff, like with Oh Shit Are We in Love and Tempo and like kind of more positive leaning stuff, it's been really nice to see people react to it nice and being like, it's so nice to like listen to a song that like makes me feel really good in like a more like rush serotonin, like, you know, heartfelt way versus like you know, a hiccup or something that kind of like makes me feel like think about my breakup. And so like I'm happy that we have that like palette now, because you really do need a song for everything, you know. We don't want to just write songs for people that are, you know, going through heartbreak and stuff. We've done a lot of that. It's like I want to also have the kid that's like just found his love of his life like have a Valley song to just like, you know, rock that emotion. And like,
yeah,
I'm sure there's so many other boxes we haven't checked off yet, so we're excited for that. So overall, very excited. Not as
yeah. I think I saw one tweet that was just like, I never know if the next Valley song is going to give me a serotonin boost or make me go to therapy or something like that. I was just like, that hits the nail on the spot.
no, but we want both. We want both.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned you tore through your old Dropboxes as well, because it was a bit more of a struggle trying to source inspiration from the outside world. But where would you say was the most unexpected place that you found inspiration for the Last Birthday EP?
Oh, there's so many. Depends how like micro we can get here. I mean, ooh.
There's a lot of like.
I'll give one that we've been saying a lot, but the movie Thelma and Louise. Kara showed us that movie when we were at a cabin in like Niagara region by Toronto writing, and it's just like such a powerful movie, and we watched it after we wrote Last Birthday, and like, but for some reason there's so many like just that movie and the whole concept of just like I would literally die for you, like a bond between two people that's like so past love. It's just like literally like cemented in each other, and like I don't know, that movie and the whole visual of that movie really resonates with like Last Birthday. There's a song called Can We Make It, bracket Jim Carrey bracket, and that song, you know, isn't directly influenced by the Truman Show, but I just love that we like use Jim Carrey as this like character arc in a way in that song, and the whole message of that song is like, and like every day isn't like Disney, and not everyone can be Jim Carrey. Like some days are gonna really suck, and like we can't be all happy and go lucky all the time, as Jim Carrey seems to be in most of his movies. But that was a really cool pull. Like we like to pull from, you know, movies and cinema and like visual kind of stimulating pop culture things. But those are two kind of things that we pulled from.
I think we also found a lot. I mean, at least on a production front, we found a lot of new music over the pandemic, because like you're just sitting there scrolling Spotify and stuff. And I think on a production level, we just found a lot of like sonic influences, or like we found this. Well, we've been following him for years, but we all became obsessed with him. He's this drummer on Instagram and YouTube, and his name's Ash Sohn, and he lives in the UK in this like, what would you like, a windmill?
Yeah,
he lives in like
renovated.
He has a studio. Like
he lives on a farm.
he's a gremlin.
Yeah, he's from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
he's a troll.
Yeah, he's a troll. No. He has a studio in like a renovated windmill, and he just makes the craziest drum sounds. And so for our song My Girl, we got him to like drum and record it and put effects on the drums and send it to us. And then we like then used it for that song and like messed with it a little bit more. And just like a lot of like internet findings, because we were naturally inside stuff and just spent more time on the internet. I think that also inspired.
We used a lot of like cartoon noises and samples in a few songs. I was often I do a lot of like ear candy production with the band, and like I was finding sounds that felt very kind of like in front of the TV with your cereal vibe. So there's a lot of fun loopy bloops and like little like skit sounds and like those are the songs. Yeah, there's so many. I have to listen to I haven't listened to the EP in a while, like because we've kind of delivered it, and like there's this we're in that phase where we're not listening to it.
Physically can't because our Dropbox just doesn't
work.
Our
Dropbox
it
works. Our AR just sent a boxing. But yeah, Last Dance was an inspiration because we were watching that documentary, and then we
like
put that Michael Jordan line in tempo. So yeah, a lot of it is like pop culture and just stuff we were consuming while we had nothing to do but sit on the couch and watch movies and watch documentaries and write songs. So naturally that stuff worked its way in. But
well, it sounds like a productive Netflix binge. So it's just like, I'll pull that bit from there and pull that bit from there.
One more that was sick, and everyone should check him out. His Instagram name is Just Joshing. But this was the last minute inspiration that like blew our minds. But our friend Josh, lucky to call him a friend, he does the craziest animation. You should look up Just Joshing on Instagram. He did all the animation in our "Oh Shit, Are We in Love" video, and that was wild. And that kind of goes with the kind of like cartoony kind of theme with the sounds on the EP that we were adding. Like it's us just like melting and like getting sucked into slushy cups and stuff. And he was like bringing his visual world into our world was really cool. And it kind of happened at the tail end of us finishing the project, but really happy we got to work with him. So check out the video if you have. It's pretty crazy stuff. He's such a great animator.
Yeah, and there's also, well, besides from the happy, the cartoon, and all of that, there's also a touch of disillusionment with society and kind of the expectations that are placed upon people nowadays. So what kind of inspired you to write about that?
We were in LA. Actually, we're like literally, but in 2019, November.
Yeah.
We had a few sessions, but we would collaborate with people all the time. A big thing of what we do is we co-write, it's called, which is bringing in another artist into the studio and we work together. And yeah, we had a few kind of situations where, we're getting into sessions and we had a lot of emotional baggage and we wanted to write about, serious shit, stuff that hurts the heart. And these people were kind of telling us that won't really sell, or that's so dark, no one's gonna relate to that. Can you do something more positive, happy, easy to go down? Which is fine. We love writing straight up simple, just bops. But in this particular case, we wanted to work on something that meant a lot to us.
And we had already had a couple bad sessions, or just
bad sessions,
not productive sessions.
So we kind of decided to go to our friend Andy's place, who's a dear friend of ours and producer, and we kind of just told him listen, this is what's going on, and we kind of just came up with this concept of society and how we wanted to really capture that moment in time in the song, and I think we did it pretty well. Just sticking up for ourselves a little bit, being we don't want to write about Bacardi party and cars all the time. As much as that's a crime scheme, it's great, but we don't need to write about it all the time. There's other
And just a couple more light-hearted questions now before we move on to the game. So what if you could reshape society in any way you want, how would you change it?
Don't be
Wait, the song or actual society?
Actual society.
Actual society.
Well, I think I wouldn't specifically reform the music industry first. I think there's a lot of bigger issues in the world.
My thing would be definitely, I wish there was a secret power to not have anyone crave meat. I'm not fully veggie or vegan yet, but I'm on a journey. But I wish there was a switch that would make me not just crave it some days. That would be pretty epic. I don't know how we would create that. Scientists come over and we'll chat it out. But
yeah,
a switch would be really nice because that is a big issue.
Yeah,
to
everything that's suffering with the world right now. So
I would teach in from an early age for kids to take what they need and don't take more than you need. In every aspect, in an emotional aspect,
it's a great
in a
answer.
physical aspect, in a resources, tangible resources, in all aspects, never, if there was a way to teach kids to take what you need and that just be it and no one gets greedy, I think that would solve a lot of problems. World peace.
I mean, basically, yeah, I was going to say don't be a racist, homophobic, whatever. But I think also, like, I think the idea of, like, everybody is always growing and going towards like, having the goal post always moving of, like, having society be better and better and better. Like, I know the most annoying thing I find in conversations, in any sort of political conversation, is like the cop-out comment of just like, oh, but it's so much better than it was like 10 years ago, because the people who always seem to say that are like, it's like, yes, but if we said that 10 years ago, we would not be here. You know what I mean? Like, when we have those conversations, it always like kind of annoys me a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, but the reason we got here is because, like, there's been a million things that I've been like so wrong about, and somebody had to be like, yo, that's not cool, like, don't say this, or like, you're thinking about this the wrong way. And like, had they not said that because, like, you know, it's better than it was 10 years ago, like, then I would probably be a more ignorant person than I am, and I'm sure there's a million more things that I'm ignorant about right now that I need to learn. And like, yeah, so I feel like having the goal be like progression, I think is really important. World peace.
Yeah. Just everyone's happy. And I mean, not necessarily love, but what's been your biggest oh shit moment as a band?
Oh, I love that.
Oh, as a band?
Oh shit moment.
Yeah.
That's as a band.
1999. 1999 was a big oh shit moment. Like, when that TikTok, because that taught us to not overthink. That was not boosted. That was not sponsored when it went up. Like, it was au natural. Like, we just uploaded that and it took off. So I think one of the big ones this year was like waking up at 2 a.m. and our friend Chris, who was at the cottage like shooting content, he was like, Rob, like, dude, like, have you seen the TikTok? And I'm like, oh, what's up? Is it like at 5,000? He's like, it's at 50,000. And then over breakfast, it was at 200,000. And then our manager started being like, oh shit, okay, here we go. And then like at lunch, it's like whatever, 500,000. We're just like, this is wild. So that was a big.
And we didn't put a lot of pressure on writing that song or like the process of that.
Almost
like,
didn't happen. We were so close. I don't remember who, but we were about to give up, and then someone, maybe it was you or Jonathan, was like,
Jonathan came with the melody.
Try another idea. Can we push for like 20 more minutes? And that 20 minutes changed our life. Just so crazy.
So yeah, we just like didn't try so hard, but not in like a don't try way, but like in a don't put so much pressure on it. Like, like necessity is very important. Like being like the necessity of a great song, the necessity of like, you know, being like really putting intention into our art, but like not the like pressure of like, I don't know. It's two different things. Necessity and putting pressure on yourself are like very different. And I think it was the time where we had the necessity to like have the craft like be really great, but we weren't like, it's this song has to be a hit, it's all or nothing. Like, we didn't have that kind of pressure. It's just like, let's write the best song and whatever happens, sort of happens. And then it happened to be like, it's just so not overthought and people connected with it. So
yeah, recently we played shows. We did like a festival in Ohio called Wonderbus. We played the Ryman with Van Camino, and then we just played Bottle Rock in San Fran, and those were big oh shit moments. Also, we played oh shit live for the first time, and like the whole crowd was singing it. It was crazy. But like, yeah, even in San Francisco, which is like, or sorry, Napa Valley, which is like far away from LA where most of our fans are and stuff, like people showed up and like sang every word at every festival and show. And like, after not playing live for 2 years, it was like very, very much an oh shit moment, being like hearing scream the words, even to like kind of B-sides. Like, we played Be the One and the whole crowd was like singing like the lyrics, which is crazy. It wasn't a single, it wasn't very pushed, and like people, so it was very crazy.
And moving on to the final part of who's most likely to. So are you guys ready for this?
Let's go. Okay, I got Sarah, Mickey, and me.
Alrighty. So
we're ready. I'm excited.
Taking inspiration from kind of the last birthday title, who's the most likely to burn something in an attempt to bake a birthday cake?
Oh. What?
Mickey, for sure.
Burn something?
Yeah, not because you're a bad cook, but he would get distracted.
Don't
make a beat, and then the cake would be in the oven.
I'm very safe in the kitchen. I'm very safe in the kitchen, I will say.
Rob is too safe, and you're too easy.
You're just like, you would be like up and you'd be like cooking something.
Really?
Yeah. I
All right,
so.
next question.
Okay.
I'm a pretty good baker.
Who's the most likely to get lost on tour?
To get lost on tour? Oh, Kara, for sure.
Kara
gets lost in her
Kara gets
house.
lost in her own house, yeah.
It's just like, where am I again? Who's the most likely to go viral on the internet?
Probably Kara.
She has the most followers.
Yeah, but Kara has the most followers.
She's the most popular.
Quirky.
She is the most quirky.
She's quirky.
She's very internet quirky. She likes her like.
Yeah, but Rob is like a cute Tumblr boy, so Rob.
I could take off.
He's a cute Tumblr boy.
Hopefully not in the wrong ways. A good kind of viral.
Who's most likely to injure themselves doing something stupid?
100%. Always.
And I don't even know. I think it was from running up a hill.
Yeah, this is really fun.
If you see me doing this in the internet, I'm stretching my back because I've hurt myself yesterday.
Yeah, we have a air gun here.
Yeah.
Massaging. We have a massage gun.
That was amazing.
Oh.
I am so tempted to get one of those now.
I sent these and they're amazing. Shout out Theragun. Thank
you, Theragun.
All right, hit me. This is so fun.
Who's most likely to fall for a scam?
Probably Kara.
I'm gonna go Kara and Mickey.
What?
I don't fall for scams.
Double.
No, I don't fall for
He's like the
scams.
most skeptical person ever. I think you would fall for like some weird marketing and be like, oh, it's cool. And then you would
No. A scam as in like, hi, this is TD. You need to enter your password here.
Yeah, I'd say Kara.
I'd say Kara.
Kara would be like,
She'd get really worried about it too. She'd be like, guys, I'm getting a call, and they're asking me to do this.
The number of times that I've like screenshotted stuff and like, is this real? And you're
Yeah.
like, no, don't click it.
No, Mickey Mouse is not trying to. Yeah.
Wait, I didn't win $5 million.
Yeah.
It's just like, guys, why is there a virus on this computer now?
Yeah,
literally.
It's like the band computer we run all our shows off of.
Yeah.
And who's most likely to be a hopeless romantic?
Hopeless romantic. Mickey.
Probably me.
Mickey's the hopeless
I
romantic.
don't know. Rob's pretty hopeless romantic-y though too, in like the Tumblr boy way. He is in the Tumblr boy way.
I'm like, definitely in high school, I was very.
It's not niche. No, he's like.
Well, I don't really know what the real definition.
I would say
is.
Rob, except you'd fall off of it after like a couple of weeks, which is funny because you've been in a long-term relationship for 5 years. But
I would say Mickey, but I could
Mickey
say
too.
myself.
Okay.
I'm somewhat of a hopeless romantic. I think I was more when I wasn't in a relationship.
Rob and I for each other.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, how sweet. And final one. Who is the most likely to throw the ultimate last birthday?
Oh.
Wait, does that mean who's most likely
to what?
To die?
Throw the ultimate last birthday, as in like throw the ultimate birthday. I won't go down that darker path.
The last. Okay, I think Mickey.
The last birthday party?
Surprise party.
Probably me.
Probably,
if
I'd say Mickey.
Time.
Mickey throws a great surprise
party. I used to be obsessed with, like, every single friend in the friend group got a surprise party every single year for, like, 6 years.
I would say Mickey.
And then it got out of hand, and we just couldn't do it anymore. It was too many people.
It just became
too much work.
Yeah, like, and it's a lot of work to plan, like, a good surprise party.
It's so fun.
You gotta have everyone, like, dialed in the, like, knowing what to do.
You have to see them walk in and be like...
Yeah. It's pretty satisfying.
It's really funny.
Also, I feel like after 6 years, it's just like, Am I going to get a surprise birthday party this year? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people will be like
Yeah,
offended
like
if they didn't get a surprise
We
party.
can only do that for so long.
Becca still needs her surprise.
Becca didn't
Yeah,
get
we
a
still need to throw Becca's first
because she had a very
Yeah.
awkward timed birthday party every year where either everyone was away and then
Yeah.
COVID hit and she had 2 COVID birthday parties,
Yeah.
which basically means no birthday party.
It was
We
us
met
sitting
up
in
in
a parking
cars
lot.
apart from
Yeah.
each other
And
just to
then
say
we got
hi
the cops called on us
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we were
in a car.
out.
Becca's our photographer, by the way.
Yeah.
And she tours us and she's
And also Rob's
my
girlfriend.
girlfriend, yeah. But for context.
But we weren't
It's
even
just people
we
are
weren't
like, who is this person?
we weren't even in the same car. We were all in our own cars with the
Yeah.
windows rolled down like apart. Anyway, it was
But
ridiculous.
yeah, I feel like we'd all throw one in our own way, but I think Mickey would have the bash, you know?
I would get very intense about the planning, and I wouldn't let any.
Yours would be like a project that's bash. I think I would throw more of like a classy,
To
like
be fair,
like
though,
let's get a chef restaurant like by the beach, like let's Malibu or some shit. Like I would go more
You'd spill
classy.
the beans.
no.
Yeah, I would
This
maybe
is
spill
what
You'd spill the
this
beans.
is the real
I
thing.
can't
though.
keep like
Our birthday party is, I hope, gonna be in like an old folks home. We're all gonna be
All
in
on the
like
same
lockers
floor?
and stuff. Because
Yeah.
hopefully our last birthday isn't like
All together,
soon.
we all die of
Hopefully it's not soon, but
we all just live on the same street, depending on how our bodies are feeling. Like we're not just don't walk.
Maybe we get like one of
hang
those.
out.
vow for a rager when we're in
Yeah.
95.
I feel like if you guys were put together in a home, but hopefully you won't, you would just be that group that the nurses would be like, oh god, they're causing trouble again.
Or we start our own home and bring in like a bunch of friends and musicians, and we have like a recording studio.
It's an old folks home for only like musicians and producers and creatives.
It's like the Soho house.
Okay, that is the
of
cutest
old
thing in the
folks'
world.
homes.
Imagine a bunch of old creatives in a house together, like just creating content and putting it online.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
That is the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's the plan.
I'm
now.
starting a club for
Let's
old
do it.
creatives,
Yeah.
for elderly creatives. We shouldn't call them offensive, but for like senior creatives.
Yeah, no, once you've retired, once you've
That's
had your
so
time,
cute.
it's nothing offensive. It's just like once you've had your
Oh my god, that's the cutest thing
you
ever.
punched in, you punched out.
Last birthday, the ball's
That was a
rolling,
great question.
ideas and-
Yeah, you've inspired a lot of.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. I've really enjoyed listening to all of your answers, and really enjoyed just seeing you guys have fun with the game as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that as well.
Thank you.
And
Great question.
hope you take care for the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. You
You
as
as
well.
well.